Leaf.com.
The NFL is on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
NFL free agency continues on with the legal tampering period, and the Houston Texans were busy today. They added a new number one running back in town as they traded conditional seventh to the Cincinnati Bengals for Joe Mixon, and they just landed four-time Pro Bowl defensive end and former Katie Morton Ranch graduate Danielle Hunter on a 2-year deal worth up to $51 million.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportsstar.com. However you may be listening, whether that is on 94.1 or if you're online at sasportsstar.com, listening via the audio player powered by AA Best Bail Bonds, or if you're one of the few joining in on our YouTube channel. Go to YouTube, like, subscribe. You can watch along with the show, comment along with the show in the comments, like Rudolph Gonzalez, who talks about the legal pampering period. NFL free agency is in full swing, and the Houston Texans are taking full advantage of it. The San Antonio Spurs will be in action a little over an hour and a half from now as they get set to take on the Houston Rockets on the second night of a back-to-back. No Keldon Johnson for that game. Illness. Spurs looking to bounce back from their 112-102 loss to the Warriors. But man, there is so much to react to because I thought yesterday the Texans had a great day, and the Texans were getting drugged online for the most part for the amount of money they had and the lack of moves that they made. And I am very much of the mindset of, look, you pay $110 million for Christian Wilkins when he's the last piece to the puzzle that you need. The Cowboys aren't in that boat right now. There isn't a last puzzle piece that they need. They need to fill a lot of holes. So you got to spread that money around in some way, shape, or form, and the Cowboys just don't have as much. The Texans do. And there's a difference between this year, last year, and then the previous years. And that is the fact that free agents want to be in Houston now, for the most part. Danielle Hunter, a hometown kid, went to Katie Morton Ranch. Short drive to LSU, where he went to college. Danielle Hunter is a monster, and they were looking for a veteran pass rusher to pair with Will Anderson Jr. And they found one. Hunter has 87.5 career sacks. He is 29 years old. He is a 4-time Pro Bowler. He has recorded at least 12.5 sacks each of the last 4 years, including a career high 16.5 this past season. You add Danielle Hunter to Will Anderson Jr. and the fact that they got Danico Autry yesterday, who will likely play inside at defensive tackle. That's scary. And the fact that they may not be done yet, too. There's reports that Danielle Hunter was looking for up to $30 million. He settles for about 24.5, 25.5. He was also being chased by the Indianapolis Colts. And there were multiple other teams involved, according to reports. You can't judge free agency off of the first day. I said that yesterday, and I mean it. The Texans have done a great job of filling a lot of holes at a good cost point. Azeez Al-Shaair is a upgrade over Blake Cashman at linebacker, who you are getting at 3 years, $32 million versus Cashman's 25.5 that he signed for. And he has familiarity with D'Amico Ryans from his time in San Francisco. You added Nico Autry, who can play inside and outside wherever you may need him on the defensive line. Was a monster in Tennessee. Such a monster that Jeffrey Simmons tweeted out, "We didn't really let him go to the Texans, did we?" They get a former third overall pick in Jeff Okudah, who played very well in Atlanta last year. Coming back, has been very injury prone through the first part of his career. And he gets a 1 year, up to $6 million prove it deal. But as well as he played last season, can step in and in my opinion, take the spot of free agent Stevie Nelson on the other side of Derek Stingley, because you don't need a number one, even though Okudah brings that. You bring in 2 or 3 special teams type players. Mike Ford, linebacker, just signed today out of Baltimore, and bringing back Lonnie Walker in a special teams role and depth. And you're eliminating needs that you have going into the draft by doing this. You're not spending a ton of money. Everything else has been relatively bargain shopping, as it was called, after day one. And then, while you're bargain shopping and everybody's freaking out that you haven't addressed the pure running back need, and there was a need there, because Dalton Schultz last week, if you remember, on Pat McAfee's show, talked about the running game.
Having a group like that and a young, hungry core of like young receivers is valuable. And I think, the biggest step for us, I think, going forward is being able to get the run game going consistently. Obviously that starts with, the guys playing, and I'm excited to get back in the lab and take a look at that and take a look at stuff that we could have done better. And I think, when you give CJ a very good run game, like the pass game's going to open up even more for those guys. And so for me, like, I think it definitely starts with the run game.
Well, you have a new RB1 in Houston as well, because not only do you have Danielle Hunter, one of the better edge rushers to help bring along a Will Anderson Jr., who is your defensive player of the year, defensive rookie of the year, by the way. Now you have a running back to do those things that Dalton Schultz was just talking about, including having played it in the wide zone scheme before in Joe Mixon. And this is the one of the moves that shocked me the most, because he was supposed to be cut last night, but he wasn't. Paperwork wasn't filed yet, and the Texans said, instead of bidding over him, let's take him. We'll trade for him. Conditional 7th round pick. And in doing that, they also don't have to compete with other teams for him in terms of the free agent bidding war that wouldn't possibly ensue. But now he doesn't count against the compensatory pick formula. And that's a huge thing for free agents, or at least for GMs. By trading for Mixon instead of allowing him to be cut and signed, he no longer counts against the compensatory pick formula for next season. So the Texans kind of win in that regard in terms of giving up a late 7th, which they have 3 of this coming season. Mixon's one of 3 players since 2018 to have 5 seasons with 1,200 or more yards from scrimmage, a list that includes Tyreek Hill Alvin Kamara, and Joe Mixon. That's it. Mixon's going to bring a different dynamic to that Texans offense this coming season. What does Rob Thompson think of these moves? We're going to talk with him next as Rob Thompson of the Morning Huddle joins me right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star to talk about the latest of the Houston Texans and are we in freakout mode when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys? All that more coming up right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Wednesday on the Morning Huddle, did the Spurs turn things around? Wemby got to get the Rockets without an Alpie. We'll talk about what happened.
Plus, free agency continues to happen in the NFL. Are the Dallas Cowboys and Houston Texans aware? We'll let you know at 6 a.m.
At GiveMeTheVin.com, we pride ourselves in being America's best car buyer, bringing top dollar for your car with an online process that's fast and easy. But you might not know that we've got a special interest in buying your truck. Luxury haulers, workhorse diesels, or just your favorite pickup truck, we specialize in putting the right money on your truck for longer than anybody. Go to GiveMeTheVin.com today and get your check on the spot from America's best car and truck buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Savings. Now that's speaking the Lowe's language. And with my Lowe's Rewards, your savings just keep coming. Save money with member-only offers and earn points when you shop. More points equal more rewards just for you. Because Lowe's knows you earned it, literally. Learn more about our new loyalty program at Lowe's.com/MyLowe'sRewards. Program subject to terms and conditions. Points are awarded on eligible purchases. See Lowe's.com/terms for full details. Subject to change.
Some people just know there's a better way to do things, like bundling your home and auto insurance with Allstate, or hiring someone to move your piano instead of doing it yourself. So, do things the better way. Bundle home and auto and save up to 25% with Allstate.
Bundled savings vary by state and are not available in every state. Saving up to 25% is the countrywide average of the maximum available savings off the home policy. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
At BetUS.com, why do we care about a college basketball tournament every March? Where bets mean everything? Because it's March Mania, where glory triumphs and anything can happen. Where underdogs can make or break our hearts. Because it's March Mania, where brackets are broken and buzzers are beaten. And there's always been a sportsbook there for you and your best buds. Because it's March Mania. BetUS has been with you through 30 Marches together. And like any good six-man, we've always had your back. And because it's March, BetUS.com is matching the mania with a mad offer. Back to back 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. And the extra confidence that comes from a 10% gambler's insurance, because anything can happen during March Mania. BetUS Sportsbook and Casino, where the game begins. Get started today.
The way the NBA season is going in San Antonio, you need to find a way to add excitement to watching those games. Jason Innings here from The Blitz. The way to do that is by playing at Underdog Fantasy. Go download the Underdog Fantasy app and start playing the Pick'em game, where you pick between 2 and 5 players from at least 2 different teams. Select whether they will be higher or lower on stats, and if your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money. It is fantasy, but legal in Texas. So download the Underdog Fantasy app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up, use my promo code STAR, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. Plus, they'll give you a mystery special pick to use on your first pick'em entry. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, promo code STAR at UnderdogFantasy.com.
George gets justice. If you've been injured, get George, because George gets justice. With over 100 years of combined experience and a relentless dedication to your case, the attorneys at George Salinas Injury Lawyers will fight for what's right. If you've been injured and it's not your fault, get George and get the compensation you deserve. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. Getgeorge.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass? Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text ENERGY to 200-300 for your free consultation on top-quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text ENERGY to 200-300 right now. Text the word ENERGY to 200-300. Don't wait. Text ENERGY to 200-300.
Here's another remarkable success story from QC Kinetics. This one from Chad, who hurt his knee at the gym one day, and it just kept on hurting for months.
From my high school football and wrestling days, I already had a little bit of damage in there, but this just sent it over the edge.
Chad tried traditional treatments with no improvement when he turned to the non-surgical regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics.
It was really fascinating how they did their work, and the science behind it was very intriguing, and it works. Extracting the cure out of my own body blew my mind. It's like I'm brand new again. It was fantastic.
That's because the QC Kinetics natural biologic treatments use your body's own healing power to restore damaged tissue in your hips, shoulders, back, and knees, providing long-lasting relief.
Now I'm back at the gym. I'm 100%, feeling great.
If you're tired of suffering with pain from arthritis or injury, call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
Check out the 2024 Basketball Mayhem at sasportstar.com. Enter your best bracket for the chance to win an incredible $1 million prize at sasportstar.com.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. If you're watching via our YouTube stream, awesome. Be sure to like, subscribe. You're able to comment along with the show. Mario Cavazos, Texans are doing what they're supposed to do. CJ can avoid the sophomore slump, and they can take it to the defending champs. It's all worth it. I get it. Lloyd D says, preach. Look, there's a lot to ingest with what the Texans have done, but at the same time, I think Cowboy fans are being too hypercritical within the first 48 hours of free agency of the team. This is a team with $8.9 million of cap space. To find out, I brought in one of the Cowboy fans here at the station, one Mr. Rob Thompson of the Morning Huddle. He is here every morning with RJ Ochoa, the managing editor of Blog of the Boys, from 6 to 10. Rob, thanks for coming on today.
Well, appreciate being on as a Cowboy fan. I didn't know I'd be greeted that way. Is that like a code word that's going on now?
No, I mean, are you not a Cowboys fan?
I am indeed a Cowboy fan, and my co-host in the morning, RJ, is well regarded as the managing editor of Blog of the Boys. So he is in the swamp, as it were.
What was
I think you're being a little kind. For what?
Your acronym that you got. You have an acronym, don't you?
I don't know.
The
if I did,
presenter-in-chief or something like that. Didn't you get some fancy title?
I am indeed the presenter-in-chief. That would be the title. But some are born to greatness, others have it thrust upon them. Being introduced as a Cowboy fan is one thing, and being a Cowboy fan right now is awful. And I appreciate the kind words from my Texans brethren down southeast. But it's okay, man. Jerry whiffed. This has been let me qualify this. For those that expected anything, this has been another whiff. But for those that are of the mindset that this is a suicide mission for this season, that everybody's on a one-year deal, that they have, when they take off, they're going to realize there's only enough gas to get about all the way out there. There's no coming back on this one. So I think Jerry is in for the idea that Dak Prescott's going to leave in a year. He's going to eat a monster salary cap hit if Dak doesn't win a Super Bowl. He's going to run it back as best he can. And I think what we need to acknowledge today as Texans, congratulations, you got yourself a running back. At RB1, a well-deserved grab at a bargain price. What'd your new guy cost?
Joe Mixon ends up coming over on the final year of his contract. It is $5.5 million for 1 year, but that's if he hits all his incentives. The base value is about $275.
What are his incentives? His incentives are what? Like lace his shoes correctly the first 3 games.
I mean, there's a roster bonus involved. There's playoff performances. There's 1,000 yards. Regular temp pole incentives for a contract.
Nothing weird in the parking. Doesn't take anybody's spot. Things like that, and he'll achieve. No, what I'm getting at is what Cowboy fan is missing. And while we are mad at Jerry for not. And it's not even about running back. It's about defensive tackle. It's about, center, which are now empty. There's so many other losses. But what we need to see, James, is this is really not the end of something, but the dawning of a new era. As I saw that Derrick Henry signed with Baltimore, it is now the beginning of what I want to call the DV era.
What's the DV
Bruce
era?
Vaughn. Bruce Vaughn.
Are we back on that bandwagon again?
Well, hey, by all actions, we let Tony Pollard go for $8 million. We could have seen a Joe Mixon for $2.75. I saw our comfort level with Zach Moss was around $3 million and $4 million was too rich for our blood. Well, evidently, we are at the dawn of the Deuce Vaughn era. That's why we didn't see him last year. He's being held back, kept captive. He's like he's going to be the secret weapon for next year, because if that's not the answer, and as crazy as that sounds, the crazier answer is the Cowboys are just sitting there and hoping something good happens with 3 picks in the top 150 or 165 or something like that. They managed to sign a long snapper. They have lost a starting center. They have lost a starting left tackle. They have lost a running back.
They haven't lost a left tackle yet.
Well, Tyron, maybe Tyron will take pity and come back and bring his old ass back and give 6 solid games and 4 with 1 arm hanging around. But maybe we'll get that if he takes pity on poor old Jerry and the straits he finds himself. The truth is, James, as Cowboy fan needs to understand, is Jerry doesn't care. And it's not like he's Nero fiddling while Rome burns. Jerry lit the match. He's sitting there doing nothing. He's not celebrating. This is the plan. This whole thing's going up in flames. So be like me and go in next year knowing that this is a kamikaze run, man. This is a suicide run, the likes of which many movies of old stars have made. Just think of this as Sly Stallone and Arnold and everybody, the Expendables, baby, because some of us ain't coming back. We're all going out next year, but some of us ain't coming back.
Okay, your definition of what is all in and mine might not be the same thing.
I don't think your definition's the same as his, Rob. Now, I want to tell you a story.
That word means what he thinks it means.
I want to tell you a story because the Cowboys, as they sit right now, have $8.9 million in salary cap space, and I don't know what the long snapper costs. It might be $8.8 million.
He's a good one, James. He's a good one.
So
top of the line.
8.7?
Probably, whatever a good long snapper's worth.
You just got done saying all the different needs: linebacker, defensive tackle, center, defensive end. You just got done naming all these different holes you have. With your 8 whatever million you have left over, do you really want to spend every single cent of that on a running back for a year?
No.
Or
no, that is not my point.
Do you want to do what the Texans did last year, which they weren't involved in the first 2 weeks of free agency, but then they go out and sign a Dalton Schultz, and then they go out and sign a Sheldon Rankins, and then they go out and add a Devin Singletary and a Noah Brown and a Robert Woods, and they're lower end guys that didn't cost as much, but ended up being valuable pieces to a team that eventually made a playoff run that had zero expectations, and you get them on better, shorter, more team-friendly deals than you would shopping on the first day of free agency.
Gosh, you're cute, James.
What?
Gosh.
Does that not make sense when you're dealing with a cash-strapped team?
Oh, you're talking about what an intelligent team would do as they properly build a program, literal scratch. No, you have to apply that kind of logic to real franchises. This is the Dallas Cowboys. When was the last time you remember them doing anything of any significance in free agency? I mean, name one or name two in the last 20 years.
After free agency started last year, they made a trade to go and acquire a Brandon Cooks and a trade to acquire a Stephon Gilmore, which made that team infinitely better going into the year and gave you Super Bowl
James
aspirations.
Those were trades.
But it happened during free agency. And you can do the same thing with late round draft picks, just like the Texans did with Joe Mixon.
Again, don't apply logic to the illogical. So keep going. Move on. Anybody else? Anybody of significance that showed up and said, man, I'm happy to be here. Here's the money. I'm taking the money. I'm here to play. It's not going to happen. That's not what
Dante Fowler, a guy that just signed with the Commanders. They signed him in free agency.
I will say that he has been of marginal. He has been of margin. And the Cowboys are going to miss that guy. That's one of those unheralded kind of things that as he walks out the locker room, not only do they lose performance, but they lose locker room presence that you just about can't replace.
Was J-Ron Curse not a good signing?
We could go back and forth on that. I have zero confidence that they're going to do anything of significance other than plug holes and put Band-Aids. That's the plan. McCarthy's on a 1-year deal. Zimmer's on a 1-year deal. Dak is on a 1-year deal. And guess what? Jerry doesn't have to be the first one to jump in the pool. Denver went ahead and cut Russell this year. So next year when Jerry does something like this, something idiotic and just bites into the salary cap for the foreseeable future, he can say, well, I'm not the first guy to do it, and those guys survived. So I have zero comfortability or confidence that anything good is going to happen over the next couple of days. But I would like to congratulate all those running backs for proving that their rumors of the demise of the position are greatly overrated. They got paid as they should be. Running backs matter. Look at the teams in the playoffs. It was just the smart teams that went and got what they needed after they built everything else. The running back's the last thing you get, but you're going to have to pay for the good one.
Okay. Now, you bring up the fact that Dak is on a 1-year deal. Do you think he's not getting re-signed? Do you think that's off the table now and they're just going to roll this thing out?
Is there anything that they have done over the last couple of weeks to tell you that they would? Because if they would have, by the stroke of a pen, James, not calling and asking him or David Mulligata, the most powerful man in all of Dallas who lives in Hollywood, his agent, they don't even need to talk to the cat, and they could have restructured his deal to at least get a little bit of money. Right now, they're sitting at $3 million under. They could have grabbed about $18 million by the stroke of the pen. They didn't even do that, and they could have done that with just about every other big old player with big old contracts, but they chose not to. Keep in mind, that's team decision. So as they came up to this preseason or this offseason, this tampering period, and they said, we are all in, they did absolutely nothing to prepare themselves. But what they're going to tell you this week, what Jerry's going to do this week, is stand out there and say, our hands are tied. First, we got to pay Dak. No, you could have paid Dak weeks ago, months ago, and you could have done the things to do to get to the point to pay Dak. So as we sit today, I tell you again, do not apply logic to the illogical.
But
it will not apply.
You say don't apply logic to the illogical, but aren't what the Cowboys doing not restructuring Dak logical? Because by restructuring him, and if he were to leave at the end of this deal, like is being, I believe, insinuated by you, you would be paying for him for 2 more years because you've just, by restructuring him, kicked that money down the road. So by not restructuring him,
what they're doing,
they're not taking that bullet in the future.
Well, they're still going to take a bullet. They're still going to take the hit the year he leaves because of the way the contract was structured.
Sure.
What they could have done, though, is planned for the future, gotten a guy or two, done something. But again, this is an exploding bomb. The fuse has been lit. mean, the Rats are jumping off the ship.
Can
Tyron Smith is gone. If they had a chance, former coaches, we have guys go to the Commanders. The Commanders. That franchise. They're going to have to make sure when they go in the shower, they wear their robes because God knows where there's cameras.
Oh, yeah, but Dan Snyder's gone now.
Oh, I don't know where
Danny's
the cameras
gone.
are. This is the same building. I know that they're telling us things have changed. But of the franchises on this earth, most of them are in some sort of European soccer league. As much as they have tried to get things right, they are just at the beginnings of getting things fixed. And we had dudes leave for that. So given the situation when I see it, the guys on the inside of the building are leaving. And then one more thing, James, as I've been by my pool trying to get zen like a couple of days ago.
It's not working.
You
You
hear
should
the
spend some
question-
time with your feet in the water.
I know. So a couple of days ago, did you hear the questions about culture? That the culture in the Cowboys, it started with your really super good tight end that the Cowboys did a good job of developing for you.
I mean,
And,
the Cowboys have a pretty good
over
one,
there,
too.
It's a zoo. It's a zoo over there. That's what they said. And in the same context, in the same several days, Dak Prescott in a presser outing for a cancer thing that he was doing with Troy Aikman said, when you bring up culture, I feel personally attacked.
Yep.
That's what he said. So after Schultz came out and said culture, now I know Ferguson tweeted out a picture of a thing or whatever, but has anybody else come out and defended the culture or defended Dak Prescott and the culture? Has anyone said, you can make fun of Jerry, you can make fun of my boys, but do not make fun of my locker room? We're in it to win it. Has anybody? Did Micah jump in and say, hey, slow down? Did Zach Martin, in the middle of all this, come out and say, you know what? I will question a lot of things. Don't question our locker room. Not a soul.
To be fair, I only hear from Zach Martin at training camp when he joins you guys.
When he joins us or when he gets paid, which is whatever that happens. But seriously, when you think of the situation the Cowboys are in, the only guys that talked about the culture of how rough it was are all those dudes that are long gone, who when they arrived had no idea what real culture looked like, or who had been someplace, got here, and all they did was take their money and run as soon as they could. So we have questions about culture. We have questions about commitment. So when you ask me about it, are you worried about getting a running back? No, I'm just worried about what this team will look like in 1 year when the rubble finally clears of everything that was not done this year.
Buy into us.
Rob?
I'm all in, baby, but maybe my definition's a little bit different than yours, Jerry.
I will say this, Rob, in terms of Dak Prescott, and everyone knows I'm not a Cowboys fan. I'm not necessarily a Dak fan, but a guy that just finished second in the MVP voting this year, life without him can look very bleak. The Vikings just moved on from Kirk Cousins, who by all intents and purposes, every Minnesota fan was much like Dallas is with Dak. You either loved him or you hated him. They've got Sam Darnold right now. The New York Giants just signed Drew Lock to compete with Daniel Jones. Life outside of a good quarterback is a very bleak place. Trust me, as a Texans fan, I've known it for most of my football life.
Well, let me tell you something, James. My daddy's a wise man. And when I was younger, he told me something. No matter how good looking she is, somebody somewhere is sick of her bleep. And I don't care what you see. It is time to separate. It's for the good of the kids. It's for the good of the family. It's nobody's fault. But it's time to go. And he is pretty. It's a distant beauty. But he is pretty. So, yeah, I understand it. Think about it. I look at it as the inverse. That there's a team willing to go with Lock as a chance. There are teams that go, you know what? No matter how bad it was, it could have been worse if I kept them around. And I think no matter how bad it has gotten, Dak has not earned this. This was not all of his fault. It's not even most of his fault. But it's time to take an exit ramp. It's time to go our separate ways.
He is Rob Thompson. You can catch him every morning with RJ Ochoa right here on San Antonio Sports Star from 6 to 10. Rob, I appreciate the time this afternoon.
Woo! I feel a lot better. I hope you do. Appreciate the time, my brother.
I didn't expect an airing of grievances here.
I'm going to jump in a cold pool. Have a good night.
Have a good one, Rob. As Rob Thompson of the Morning Huddle. He and RJ get you going every morning from 6 to 10 right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 941 FM, sasportstar.com. Looking around the NFL at some of the other moves that have gone on outside of the Texans, outside of the Cowboys. It's all coming up next on San Antonio Sports Star.
It's coming. It's almost here.
A 15 seed will head to the Elite Eight.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star is your home for college basketball's national championship.
On their way to their 12th national title game.
68 teams, Sweet 16, Elite 8, the Final Four, it all on your home for March Madness. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, presented by Westwood One.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards that zero-turn lawnmower you've always wanted. And after using its edge-shaping technology to meticulously sculpt the face of the Mona Lisa into your grass, you'll become the undisputed king of Saturday morning lawn care, leaving your neighbor and sworn enemy Gary to question his place in the delicate neighborhood ecosystem. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
What's keeping you from learning the language you've always wanted to speak?
Too hard. Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make learning fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. And in 10 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons are designed to get you having real conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
That's not long.
It's not hard.
It's perfect.
It starts here. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Always find what you love at Total Wine & More. With so many bottles to choose from at the lowest price, it's easy to find your favorite Cabernet or a new single-barrel bourbon to try. With the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love and love what you find at Total Wine & More. Spirits not sold in Virginia and North Carolina. Drink responsibly. B21.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Always find what you love at Total Wine & More. With so many bottles to choose from at the lowest price, it's easy to find your favorite Cabernet or a new single-barrel bourbon to try. With the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love and love what you find at Total Wine & More. Spirits not sold in Virginia and North Carolina. Drink responsibly. B21.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop.
Did you hear? Macy's one-day sale is going on today. Refresh your wardrobe for spring with great deals on brands you know, like 40 to 60% off Anne Klein, Tommy Hilfiger, Style & Co. and more. And add your flair with 30 to 50% off shoes, handbags, and accessories. Plus, get 15 to 65% off home updates from Cuisinart, Lennox, and more. Macy's Star Rewards members earn on every purchase, except gift card services and fees. Savings off regular sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
O'Reilly. You need parts? O'Reilly Auto Parts has parts. Need them fast? We've got fast. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Product availability. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Jim was at the laundromat when he heard his ear said Maraca, senor, but his nose said, hey, freshest scent ever. Following his nose, Jim found a man pouring Gain scent beads into the washer. The scent, the freshness. Jim blurted, sir, your scent Maraca smell amazing. You could call them scent maracas, but most noses call them Gain scent beads. Try Gain scent beads. Way fresher than detergent alone.
This is Jim Rome. Join me weekdays at noon on my new home, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Once again, I'd like to appreciate Rob Thompson for joining me on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. They are online at buyersbarricades.com. What say you? 210-656-ESPN, 210-656-3776. If you want to get in on the conversation as it pertains to free agency this year. Derrick Henry of the Ravens, 2 years, up to $20 million. Joe Mixon traded to the Houston Texans. They end up signing Danielle Hunter, bringing him in at freaking 2 years, $48 million guaranteed. It is a massive free agency. Patrick Queen going to the Pittsburgh Steelers, 3 years, $41 million. Sam Darnold going to Minnesota. Will he be throwing it to Justin Jefferson, or will Justin Jefferson be looking for a way out of Minnesota all of a sudden? Aaron Jones going to those Vikings, 1 year, $7 million. The Browns are signing Jameis Winston, 1 year, $8.7 million. The Commanders are signing Marcus Mariota at 1 year, $6 million. Drew Lock going to the Giants to compete with Daniel Jones for that starting free agency spot. There are a lot of moves around the NFL early here in free agency. The one team not making very many moves, the Dallas Cowboys, as they are still up against the salary cap, not a whole lot of space, have to create room before they can really go in and go shopping and know what they're looking for. Now, one of the things that they have is a soundbite that came back and bit Jerry Jones in the ass. He said they were going to go all in, and wow. He did not realize the firestorm that would provide for fans and media alike, to which a week later, he decides on his bus, probably need to take that back a few steps.
Okay, your definition of what is all in and mine might not be the same thing, but I'm trying to win the games this year with my decision.
He's got to walk it back, and I get it all of a sudden. He didn't expect the firestorm that he got, but at the same time, I semi-understand what Jerry is doing. I understand that you can't put all the groceries in the cart on the first day of free agency, because that's usually when the higher priced overpays happen. And the Cowboys just aren't in that boat. And to be fair, for a lot of teams, you shouldn't be overspending like the Raiders did for Christian Wilkins at 4 years, $110 million, unless that's the last piece you need, unless that's the piece that'll put you over the top. The Broncos thought they did it with Von Miller. They were a piece away. They needed a pass rusher. They went and got Von Miller. Unfortunately, he got hurt, and it kind of blew up their chance at that Super Bowl. And now they have to kind of blow up a part of the team and start over. But Von Miller was supposed to be that last piece to push them over the top. What say you? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Drew in the Woodlands. Welcome into Extra Innings to a Pledge, my man.
Hey, man. I think the fan base is totally destroyed. They live in it all. Props to RJ Ochoa and all the other people doing the whole fan thing. The Dallas Cowboys originally fired Tom Landry. Why? Because he couldn't get it done in the playoffs, right? They originally traded who did they trade? The running back to get draft picks to build through the draft and tank. The last time the Cowboys got a first-round QB was in 1989. You don't think after 35 years that you guys don't need to hit the reset button? Okay, RJ, everybody, you guys need to get rid of all these guys, all the guys, the talent, trade for draft picks, tank a couple of seasons, and get a good quarterback, and then rebuild the team. I'm sure Jerry's you're gonna still give Jerry $1 billion in revenue every year. Let's not act like you're not gonna do it. But the reason my God, Tom Landry was just 2 years removed from the NFC Championship game before you guys threw him to the curb. Uh-huh. He was in the NFC Championship game in the mid-'80s, and he was 2 years later thrown to the curb. You guys have not been anywhere close to getting to a conference championship game in 39 dang years. You guys need to hit the reset button. Your whole community is living in a fantasy world. Who cares what's going on in free agency? Who cares if you're going to pay, what's his name, the defensive end who's a linebacker or whatever, what's his name, chirps on the internet all the time. I can't remember his name. You need to trade these guys, get picks for the next 5 or 10 years, and rebuild your team, or you're going to belinger, and you're going to cry every freaking year forever. It's a self-perpetuating misery machine, which makes Jerry the richest guy in football. That's all it is at this point. Sorry, it's a reality check. I'm not a Cowboys fan, but I've been around long enough to know Cowboys history. I mean, some of you guys aren't even 35 years old in this freaking chat who are consider yourselves fans, are you? I know about the Cowboys from the 70s. I heard about the Cowboys in the 60s. I was around for the Cowboys in the 80s. And I've witnessed all this stuff. You guys are lingering, and you're the joke of the NFL. Sure, you're a rich joke. You're the biggest brand, but you got to tank. It's been 35 years since you got a number one pick as your quarterback, a first-round pick. You cannot defy the laws of sports. You can't. I'm sorry. Am I wrong? Am I crazy?
You're not crazy. You're not crazy. Everybody has to rebuild at some point. I appreciate the phone call, Drew. Call back anytime. But you also don't find all your quarterbacks in the first round. Quarterbacks are the main thing about rebuilding, and the Cowboys lucked into one with Dak Prescott in the 4th round, who just finished second in the MVP voting. So while the playoff success isn't there, it isn't necessarily all on Dak Prescott. I think a lot of it revolves around the team that's built around him. More on that, plus the enigma that is Justin Fields, coming up right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
So my home is also my office, and before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up and spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Not to brag, but Progressive's Name Your Price tool is mankind's greatest tool ever. Even better than the wheel. Sure, without the wheel, we wouldn't have modern transportation or funny videos of dogs riding skateboards. But without the Name Your Price tool, we wouldn't have easy access to auto insurance options based on our budget. And, well, cars do need wheels. They also need insurance, and insurance never goes flat. Learn more about the greatest tool ever than Name Your Price. And coverage match limited by state law, not available in all states.
People who come to Cricket stay with Cricket, just like our customer Paul.
I run a farm with my family, and thanks to Cricket 5G, I know they can reach me, even when I'm out walking our dog Valentine.
Good dog, Valentine. Big nationwide 5G. Get fast 5G on 4 lines for only $25 per month each. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Real customer pay for testimonial. Discounts vary per line. Cricket 5G requires a compatible device and is not available everywhere. Fees, terms, and restrictions apply. See store for details.
At BetUS.com, why do we care about a college basketball tournament every March? Where bets mean everything? Because it's March Mania, where glory triumphs and anything can happen. Where underdogs can make or break our hearts. Because it's March Mania, where brackets are broken and buzzers are beaten. And there's always been a sportsbook there for you and your best buds. Because it's March Mania. BetUS has been with you through 30 Marches together. And like any good six-man, we've always had your back. And because it's March, BetUS.com is matching the Mania with a mad offer. Back, 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. And the extra confidence that comes from a 10% gambler's insurance. Because anything can happen during March Mania. BetUS Sportsbook and Casino, where the game begins. Get started today.
Nigel, what's up with your hair?
Joel, prices are insane these days. I'm cutting my own hair.
Folks, nobody likes paying high prices. Good news, for limited time, all quarter moon 14-SEER AC systems up to 3 tons are installed in your house for only $69.99. Now is the ideal time to take care of your home at the lowest price of the year.
Joel, I like saving money. I'm an influencer. Everywhere I go, people hand me change and say, bless your heart.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC. 210-651-5899. License number M16004. DACLA 000743458.
Do you have failing or missing teeth? Hi, I'm Dr. Andrew Mueller, Chief Oral Surgeon at Doctors Implants.
I had missing teeth, I had crowns, I had partials.
There was no way I was going to walk into my bathroom every morning to see my teeth in a container.
At Doctors Implants, replacing your teeth with full mouth dental implants might be the long-term solution you're looking for.
The 6-Hour Smile is a permanent full mouth teeth replacement. Your new smile will be custom designed to fit your face and lifestyle and will look and function just like regular teeth. You won't need to remove them from your mouth overnight, and you won't need adhesive to keep them in place. Eat freely and smile confidently again. Research them at doctorsimplants.com. Receive a complimentary doctor's consultation and CT scan when you call 210-640-0000. Again, that's 210-640-0000.
Home of the 6-Hour Smile.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Man, I'm seeing people miss their windows, and that includes the Houston Texans a year ago. At the trade deadline 2 years ago, they were going to move Brandon Cooks to the Dallas Cowboys, but they were holding out for a 2 overall. Cowboys offered a 3. Deal never got done, never got consummated, so they settle for a 4 in the offseason. Brian Burns, LA, the Rams offered 2 firsts plus for him. He goes this year to the Giants for a 2nd and a 5th. Holding on doesn't increase the value of a player all the time, especially when you're dealing with free agency in the draft. That's going to minimize value a lot of the time. Ryan Poles hanging on to Justin Fields has decreased his value because spots are just drying up. Now, where could he fit? I think a perfect place would be in division. Would they do something in division? I don't know. But if I'm Minnesota, I'm definitely taking that flyer on Justin Fields. And it sounds like Justin Jefferson kind of wants the same thing.
We have to build on, for after Kirk or whatever the case may be. But having Justin Fields brings a little bit more pressure to other teams by having, a dominant quarterback like he is.
So Justin Jefferson shooting his shot. Will the Minnesota Vikings listen? They just signed Aaron Jones, so they're not out of the team building stage. They went and spent money on Cashman and Grenard and a good chunk of change here in the first couple of days, but their solve for losing Kirk Cousins to this point seems to be Sam Darnold, which doesn't seem like a great solve right now, but maybe their star receiver that they are trying to keep in-house by speaking up about Justin Fields, who it looks like Chicago's ready to move on from, could help to spur things along. We'll keep an eye on this and much, much more all throughout free agency. Just keep it locked right here to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure. I am James Pleasure. Appreciate y'all for riding along with me tonight. Good luck. Have a great night. We'll check you tomorrow.
When a cold keeps you up, try NyQuil Severe Honey Flavor. The nighttime, sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever, Honeylicious, best sleep with a cold medicine. Powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a dreamy honey taste.